up with it, world? It's your boy Sleepy J. You are tuned into the Know It All Sports Podcast. I am your one and only Sleepy J with my co-host.
I am the man, the myth, the legend. If you haven't heard, now you have. I am Coach Rudy, and I am here to insult you, to lie to you, and to give you a whole bunch of confusing words.
Words.
You hear that? That was my Mountain Dew.
All right, guys. We got a lot to cover. The NFL season is fully underway. There's a lot of wins, a lot of losses, a lot of great games in the first week.
Yeah, and Jay and I lied to y'all a bunch. See, some people won't admit what happened in first week, and they'll act like, oh, we picked a bunch of games and we don't know what happened to them. We got all our picks right. So I'm gonna tell you right here, right now, I didn't miss a single game. Well, I didn't. I lied to y'all on 11 of the teams that were supposed to win.
Those was jokes you was fooling.
They were. I got you. I got you. And Jay lied to y'all on 10 of them. So if you thought, man, these guys don't know nothing, they went 6-11 and 5-11 and 6-10. No, we got all of them right. We just lied to y'all.
Here's the thing. It's not that we weren't wrong.
I wasn't wrong. I lied. I'm a liar. I'm not a wronger.
Well, in the words of a wise man once said, even when I'm wrong, I'm right because I could have been right even though I was wrong. So it's like I was right. That's it.
I'm just saying y'all should have listened better.
Yeah, exactly.
We double talk a lot. All right. So look, first things first, I didn't even mention this to you. I want to give a big shout out to the unfortunate victims of the women's gymnastic Olympics squad who had to put their business back out there and address the doctor that raped them and how the FBI really wasn't trying to help them and prevent that doctor from molesting other girls and other children. Simone Biles and the girls that went to Congress this week, big shout out to y'all for putting that out there and making sure people are held accountable. I don't think that accountability happens enough in this world. So big shout out to you girls for doing that, you young ladies. And now let's get the ball rolling with another couple shout outs. One of my former players, he now plays at SMU. He's a true freshman, Isaiah Nicobia. Congrats to you on your INT last week and the big W that y'all got for SMU. I'm proud of you. Keep up the good work.
What was the kid's name?
Isaiah.
I just want to interrupt and say you've done messed up. You better get an interception every game now. You have set the standard. It's your fault. You should underachieve so that way you had a higher wall. But,
higher ceiling, not wall.
Listen, I know what I said. If you didn't understand what I said, then I think that's a you problem.
Touche. All right, now one of my other former players, Xavier Gibson, plays at SFA. He's a junior there. Last week, he caught 13 passes for 157 yards. He really tore up Texas Tech. Look, Texas Tech, y'all got the W. 6-point win over SFA. Y'all were 32-point favorites. So SFA, big shout out to y'all. That's a huge win, or huge win-loss. Because you didn't pull off the win.
A very good moral victory when you're expected to lose by big numbers and you don't. You actually show that you were holding on to the game. That's a big deal. So yeah, definitely.
I'm proud of those boys. Proud of what they're doing. Wish them the best. So as far as that goes, that's how we want to start. Now let's get rolling to the NFL.
Well, that was Mahomes calling me. It's someone from Kansas City, so I'm assuming he needed some help. But I'm doing this podcast. I can't do that. He's going to have to wait for those tips later.
It is what it is. I mean, Mahomes should know better.
Right.
He knows when we do this.
Exactly.
Jesus. These young bucks, man.
No respect, I tell you.
I know.
All right.
All right. So look, before we get to the recap of week 1, we got to talk about the big news. Tank out 6 to 8 weeks. Talk on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you heard me. I told you to talk.
That's a big deal. For me, man, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. As soon as I started hearing about these topics on the boys right now, I started getting like, see, this is exactly why I wait till the postseason to admit that I'm a fan, because this shit just, my blood pressure, my heart can't handle it. So it's a long time. It's that's what makes football so hard to gauge as opposed to other sports. Like, you could just be practicing and just get an injury from doing the game itself.
Yeah,
like,
broken foot, 5th metatarsal. Yeah. From everything that I hear, this is a big injury. A lot of players that get this just are never the same. And it's not like it's his second year.
Yeah.
He's been playing for a few years now.
Yeah.
Because of this, I just don't want him to rush back. Right. I want him back as soon as possible, but so long as he can continue his career.
Yeah. Speaking as someone that's had ankle injuries, not the same thing, but I can tell you, like, I was just doing straight legs one day in practice, and my ankle buckled, and I was out for 2 games just from that. And it just, I don't know. Your body just doesn't necessarily do everything you want it to do every time.
That's true. When you're weak, and Jay, you're weak.
You're lucky I can't talk about your mom because she's my aunt. But if she wasn't, I would talk about her. Can't even talk about your dad.
I'm going to tell your mama that you're trying to talk bad about her sister. She gonna smack the taste out your mouth again. All right. So, look, I'm really disappointed that Tank got this injury for his own sake. I like the young man. I think he's a good person. I think he's a great player. And I want to see him succeed. Yeah, he's on the Cowboys squad, and that's another reason. But I just like him as a person. And I wish that he can recover quickly for his own sake and for the Cowboys' sake, because right now they're really thin.
Yeah, I think it puts a lot of pressure on some of these young bucks that they picked up, and I don't know if they're ready for it.
You know what? And once again, though, this kind of falls on coaching and on the GM.
Definitely.
If you don't build the depth and if you don't coach up your players that aren't on the top tier, then it really is an indictment of your failures.
You know, when we got McCarthy, I was thinking, like, you know, I kind of liked him as far as what the options were that were going there for a while. I would have, at the time, I think I would have preferred Urban Meyer's had he come up at that time.
Oh, he was available. He was winning.
I know, but had he actually been had Jerry been serious about...
That's the other thing.
That's who I would have, I was hoping for.
I'm with you on that. I would have preferred Urban Meyer, but I was actually okay with McCarthy until I saw what he did last year.
And then the line about, like, oh yeah, I've studied their games, I know it, and then, like, nah, I didn't watch any of that.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Yeah. That's the coaching that's why I was bringing it up, because you're talking about the coaching. The fact that you said what you had to get the job, which who doesn't? We all lie a little bit just to get a little bit further ahead in our job.
But then you got to go make up for it.
Right. Yeah, once you get you say what you have to get the job, but once you get the job, it's time for you to deliver. And yeah, you lied. Well, you should have been watching those videos to get caught up.
Yeah, once you knew you were getting that job, you should have said, oh, I got some homework to do.
Right.
And if you did, man, you suck at doing homework. Because honestly, McCarthy, you're doing a bad job of coaching.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, something about him gives me, like, I would call it like party guy vibes. Like, he wasn't necessarily he's just one of them guys that peaked early. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that guy in school that just peaked early. They had like one good thing, and they just kind of try and ride that out forever. That's what he reminds me of.
Yeah, it's possible that he was a better coach before.
Yeah,
but right now he's not a good coach. He doesn't make good coaching decisions. He doesn't have good personnel decisions. And I know that some of you are going to say, well, it's Jerry and Will McClay that do the personnel. But when you're a coach, you still have personnel decisions as far as who's my starter, who's their backup, where am I shuffling players when an unexpected injury happens. He doesn't make good decisions with the personnel that he does have.
Was it you that said that Jerry said that he made a deal to win that last Super Bowl?
No.
I heard somebody say, like, Jerry said that, like, he wanted to win that last Super Bowl so bad that he was like, I'm willing to do whatever, made a deal with the devil to do it, and that's why he hasn't been able to get another one since.
No, look, that last Super Bowl team that the Cowboys had, that was still based off the talent that Jimmy Johnson had put out there. Jerry Jones didn't have fun not being the main guy when Jimmy was running the team. Jerry Jones was quoted as saying that his time working with Bill Parcells was some of the worst seasons that he's ever had. And remember, Parcells turned that team around from I think 3 or 4 straight years of 5-11.
Right.
To a playoff team with Quincy Carter and then with Tony Romo. And Jerry said he would rather not win if he was going to be that sad, essentially. Yeah. I'm paraphrasing what he said.
I mean, that time, I remember that time, the defense was immaculate. It was a hellified
Coach
defense.
Zimmer, the coach from Minnesota, he was our defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
With leading into Bill Parcells coming in Bill Parcells' first couple years.
Yeah.
He was our defensive coordinator. And why? Because the man knows at least defensive football. I have a lot of respect for Zimmer.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I was just I'm kind of curious. I blame everything good and bad with the Cowboys on Jerry, so.
Well, to go along with that, with some of that bad, defensive end Randy Gregory is out
with the
COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, I had just recently heard that, actually.
So I know that they got their fingers and toes crossed that he'll be able to clear waivers and not waivers, clear past those 2 tests.
Yeah.
And be able to play, but they're not holding their breath.
Yeah, the problem with I don't know, it's not a problem, but I like Gregory. I was happy to hear he was back because I didn't think he would ever come back. But this isn't a good start.
No, this is not, as far as I'm aware, he's fully vaccinated.
Yeah. So
this isn't something that he can necessarily control. Now, I don't know what other precautions he's taking or not, but when you know that he's out there playing football and living life, and right now it's really quite easy to get this virus,
especially in Texas.
Yeah. So this isn't something that I can hold against the man.
No, I'm not
saying that you are.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, for me, I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
For it. Now, when we look at Lyle Collins, the right tackle, missing 7 drug tests. Now that's something you can blame on him.
Yeah, the issue with one, I understand the rules and regulations, and depending on which ones that he's got in his system that caused whatever situation, I feel like there needs to be some changes somewhere, whether it's the players need to make the change or whether it's the league needs to make some changes.
Well, here's what it is. When he's getting tested pretty much every other day, as far as statistically, that means that he had previously failed drug tests.
Yeah.
Because every player in the league is not getting tested every other day.
Yeah.
They have a few random tests. So you'll get tested a few times during the season.
Right.
But if you failed the drug tests, that's what gets you put into this position.
Right.
So I don't know what drugs he was taking. I don't know if they were party drugs or workout drugs.
Right.
And
that's what I'm saying. Depending on what they are, if we're still arguing over marijuana being a problem in the NFL when so many states have legalized it at this point. Like, I feel like the NFL needs to make a change in the ruling. Now, if you say that he's got steroids or he's got, coke or something like that, those are different circumstances that, but that's what I'm saying. I'm banking on the idea that it's more than likely marijuana because we still have this weird stigma with it and again, most of these states have legalized it at this point.
To be perfectly clear, they haven't said which drugs or why he's on this protocol. All I'm saying, though, I understand where his logic is in the idea that a couple of the days that he missed drug tests in the summer was days that they kicked everybody out of the building.
Yeah.
So he wasn't able to go do his drug tests.
Okay.
So let's say that takes care of 3 or 4.
Right.
You still had 3 or 4 days of missed drug tests.
Yeah.
And you're playing with fire when you do that because back in the day, like Michael Irvin said, 1 drug test missed is the same as you being positive.
Yeah.
So I don't know how strict they are or how lenient they're being, but obviously they're being lenient enough to have it be up to 7 before they say you're in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, and not to sound like anyone that's like very hard on the idea, but we know what you have to do for your job. And when you do things you're not supposed to do, that can, prevent your job, what you're gambling. And unfortunately for the team, when you're doing a team thing, you affect the whole team, even when it's just you.
It's not just you.
And I'm sure you have family that counts on you to help them out with your money, and that's a whole nother thing. But again, you're affecting your actions. Not only affect you, they're affecting your family, they're affecting your team, and your progress in the league. So that's something
your longevity.
Yeah.
Whether someone's gonna really want to pay you.
Yeah.
Once
endorsement deals, possibilities. Yeah, where you're gonna go next, if you can go anywhere. If you can get more money,
He's trying to appeal to see if he could get this sentence shortened or removed altogether. The way the NFL usually works, I don't see it happening because they seem to ignore it till the end. And maybe the day before his last one, they say, "Oh yeah, we'll listen to your case now." But
right.
I'm not really thinking that he's going to be able to be back. If he is, and the league says my bad, cool.
Yeah, I was thinking when he was going to appeal it, I was like, they're going to wait till he's like 4 games in before they even like, oh, we decided not to listen to you.
So Michael Gallup out 3 to 5 weeks.
I didn't see what happened. I actually, what happened?
I think it's his groin.
No. Still crazy. Michael Gallup is, I won't say he's, how do I phrase this? Like, I don't want to say that he's a not essential player, but he is somewhat important. Like, he's not the most important player as far as from the offense.
Because we have depth. Because we have CeeDee Lamb. Because we have Amari Cooper. And because we have a bunch of other receivers who are solid.
Yes.
Now, I will say this. I think that this injury may have just hurt his pocketbook. This offseason, he's going to be negotiating for a contract.
Right.
If the Cowboys are going to say, well, look, you didn't play 5 games this year.
Right.
We already have Amari under contract. We're not going to offer you Amari money.
Right.
We're not going to offer you what CD's going to have to get paid in a couple of years.
Right.
We'll give you this amount, which I think is going to be even lower now than what it would have been had he been able to play all 17 games.
You think there's a possibility he'll leave?
Oh, yeah. And I think that's why you drafted CD.
Yeah.
Because I think what happens is you draft the best available player. And I know the Cowboys don't always do this, but the way it should work is I draft the best available player, whether it's quarterback, running back, corner, guard, whatever.
Right.
Even if I've already got somebody who I'm paying a lot of money, because if you are good enough to replace them,
right,
then you're going to replace them. And I can tell them bye-bye, and I don't have to pay them.
Right.
Like once their money's gone, I say, okay, well, it was nice working with you. We'll see you later.
Yeah.
And if you're not good enough to replace them, well, then you're just filling the role. You know.
So in a team situation, say you're the GM or the coach, do you, because you have the depth that you do you even entertain the idea of re-signing him? Like you personally?
Yeah, I like Michael Gallup. I think he's a good receiver. I think he's actually a great number 2 receiver.
Yeah. I
would love to have him, but I'm also not going to break the bank for him.
Right. I'm just wondering if he was like, but never mind. Beasley was like a third.
Here's my problem. I've never liked Beasley as a person.
It's because he was a crybaby?
Yeah. I don't like him because he was a crybaby. I don't like him because he was so close to quitting after the first week of practice.
Yeah.
And he had to get forced to come back, and then he thinks that he's a tough guy because he kept playing.
Yeah.
Dude, your grandpa don't talk you back into it. You're a never was in the NFL.
Right.
So I just don't like Beasley.
I get it. I get
now,
the idea of that.
When we look at Michael Gallup, I think Gallup's the real deal. I think because of him, because of CD, because of Amari Cooper, I think we have the best receiving core in the NFL. But when I turn around and I look and I see Tampa's receiving core, I see the Chargers receiving core, I see Minnesota's receiving core. So many of these teams are 3 deep, easy.
Yeah.
Receivers not that important to pay in my eyes.
That's crazy.
I say that just like in fantasy, it's a lot easier to find a good receiver than it is to a good running back.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to think about how the game has changed over the years. Like I was just talking to someone in our fantasy team or fantasy league about how I hate picking running backs because they all split now. Like they're all split.
Yeah, you don't have very many that are 3 down backs.
Yeah, and if any anymore. I don't know. Is there one right now? Okay. But even still, he's still
Zeke and Henry.
Okay.
And that's about it.
And they're still not necessarily 100% on that anymore.
No, they are.
Yeah.
Zeke, I mean, so what I liked about first week with what's our backup running back?
Tony Pollard?
Yeah, Pollard. They use both of them at the same time. And that's something I've been clamoring for years. Yeah. If you like them both, use them both.
Yeah.
Split them out. That way people don't know which one's getting the ball.
Yeah.
I love that. So they did that the first week. So Zeke being out there, he was out there, I think, 80% of the downs on the offensive side.
Yeah.
Now, he didn't get the ball very much, but it was strictly based on how the game was being played. But, no, Zeke is definitely one of those 3 down backs. Henry is, and outside of that, you're right. You don't have very many. Now, that should lead us in to the recap of week 1. So, like I said earlier, we lied to you about who was going to win. I lied to you 11 times. Jay lied to you 10 times. There were 8 underdogs that won. And there was 8 playoff teams from last year who lost. So half of the playoff teams are 0-1.
Hold on. You said there were 8 underdogs that won?
8 underdogs that won.
Okay.
And then also, there were 8 playoff teams from last year who lost. Now, like I said, some of y'all think that my record's 5-11. You're wrong. It's 16-0. Something like that. All right, so now let's play a little guessing game. The quarterback who had the most passing yards last week was David Carr. Monday Night Football had a lot to do with overtime and the fourth quarter. big comeback because his numbers weren't very good the first half.
Okay.
But he ended up with 435 passing yards. Besides that, Dak was number 2 with 403.
Okay.
Now, we're only talking about passing yards week 1.
Okay.
Give me the name of the rest of the top 10. If you miss 3, you lose. What do you lose? I don't know, because you ain't win nothing either.
Golf.
Jared Goff. He was there. He was third, fourth, fifth. He was fifth.
Okay.
338.
Okay. Let's see. Stafford.
Stafford was ninth.
Okay.
321.
Kyler Murray.
Murray was not in there.
Really?
1 strike.
Let's see.
Stafford had a great game, by the way. Him and the Rams kicked butt.
I was impressed by Goff going into overtime or almost pulling it back with the 2 minutes
Against the Niners?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Let's see.
So you got 1 strike.
And I know it wasn't Tannehill. I know it wasn't. Was it Bridgewater?
Strike 2.
Damn.
I think he was 11th.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, what's that fella in Buffalo?
Let me give you a hint on one of them.
Okay.
He's like 44 years old. Won 7
Big
championships.
Ben. I didn't even mention that.
Not Big Ben.
Really?
Won 7 championships.
Oh, Brady?
Okay. You got Brady now. He was the third. He had 379 yards.
Oh, I forgot that was kind of a shootout. I don't know why
Yeah.
I was thinking that it was more.
All right.
Okay.
So you're missing the 4th. Who's the best quarterback in the NFL?
The best quarterback in the NFL?
Who's the best quarterback in the NFL?
Rodgers?
Dude, you lost. Strike 3.
Oh, fucking Mahomes. Why did
Exactly. You're an idiot.
Oh, fuck
You know
me.
Rodgers didn't do anything. He
I know,
put
that's
up
why I
3
was like, why are
points.
you saying Rodgers? I don't
Because I said the
understand.
best quarterback in the NFL. So this is what you missed.
Yeah.
Kirk
Fucking-
Cousins was 4th at 351.
Mahomes
You wouldn't
actually-
have guessed Kirk Cousins. Mahomes was 6th.
You know, it's funny-
should have guessed him.
You know, the thing about Kirk Cousins is I thought him, but I was like, nah, Kirk Cousins didn't make it in there.
Herbert,
That's surprising.
he was right behind Mahomes, so he's 7th. Trevor Lawrence, you wouldn't have guessed him. Jacksonville. You did guess Stafford, and you wouldn't have guessed Baker Mayfield. He was also tied with Stafford at
That doesn't
321.
surprise me.
But you wouldn't have guessed it
No.
because you would have forgotten because
Yeah.
he's forgetful.
I would have, because of the Browns, not even necessarily because of
Exactly. Exactly. So those were the 10 quarterbacks with the most passing yards week 1.
Okay.
Now, a couple of them are going to drop off week 2 because that's what happens.
Well,
Before
yeah,
we get into
as
our
it goes
picks,
on, each week changes. The game changes. The players change. People get hurt. People excel.
FS or BS? You ready?
BS.
You said BS?
Yes.
That's what I thought. All right. New Orleans is as good as their 30-3 win showed. For show or BS?
As good as?
Yep.
I'm going to say BS. I don't think they're as good as they showed. I think the Green Bay was just really bad that game. Do I think they're decent? Yeah.
I think they're going to be better than what I anticipated them being.
100%.
So I think it is BS because I don't think that they're going to be a 30-3 team every week.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, if you're talking, are we going to hit, are they going to be harder to beat than you thought they were? 100% they're going to be, because I was counting them out without having Breeze there.
Yeah.
I pretty much like I was
without-
asking every
Without their wide receiver, with
Yeah.
their running back issues.
We had that discussion before the season started. It was like, I don't think they're going to do anything. I've had this discussion with so many Saints fans, like, what are you going to do without Breeze? And then that was even what is before I even realized that Michaels was out. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know what was so.
Jameis Winston really showed out. He did his thing, and hey,
Who-
I tip my cap to New Orleans because I didn't expect that.
Who was the bigger surprise to you, Tyrod or Winston?
Tyrod and Houston had to be the bigger surprise because two years ago, Jameis Winston put up some great numbers, but also threw a bunch of picks.
Yeah.
But statistically, he was kicking butt minus the picks.
Yeah.
Well, Tyrod Taylor, it's been 3 years since he was doing just a good job.
Right.
Because he hasn't
he lost
really
his
panned
job
out.
3 years
He
ago.
lost his job.
Yeah.
Then he goes somewhere else, should be competing for it, loses it,
Yeah.
cycle in and out. So I was really counting him out.
That's
and
crazy.
when you factor in the fact that the Texans only won 4 games last year. So this goes on to our second question, FS or BS. Tyrod Taylor will lead the Texans to at least 8 wins this year.
For sure. I like the talent there. I don't know what I have to tell you that I like the talent around him. I mean, it was pieced together by the free agency, but I think that there's enough there that he has a fighting chance. I mean, there's 17 more or 16 more
16
games?
more games.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I'm gonna tip my cap to him and say, okay, they're going to do better than what I thought. That said, I don't think they get to 8 wins. So I say BS. No.
You think they're still going to top at 4?
And that may just no. But it may just be my stubbornness because
What about 5?
I don't think they win more than 6.
So you think they stop at 6? Okay. You guys heard it.
Don't forget, just because you heard it, don't mean that I said it. I stole that from some singer. What's her name? Adele. All right. So let's go ahead and move a little bit forward. Speaking of the Texans, who did they beat? I don't remember. The Jags.
Oh, yeah.
Urban Meyer will be the next coach, or will be. Sorry. Urban Meyer will be next coach of USC and leave the Jags this year.
Say it again because I was interrupting you on that.
Urban Meyer will be the next coach of USC and leave the Jags this year.
BS.
Because he won't leave the Jags or because he won't be at USC?
Because I think he's not going to, even if he tanks the rest of the season, I don't think he's just going to give up.
You got him at least 2 years.
Yeah. Like, I don't think he's going to just walk away like, yep, I don't want this, going back to college football and doing what I know. I think he's going to at least give this a 2 years, maybe 3 before he actually makes that decision again.
Okay. I'm going to say BS.
So long as they keep him, too.
I'm going to say BS, but I wouldn't doubt if he goes to the University of Texas. He's flirted with that idea before. They are trying to get to the SEC. But I'm going to say BS that he'll be the next coach of USC. Okay. He might leave the Jags after this year to be the coach of the of University of Texas. But
okay.
I don't think he'll be the next coach of USC. Now, that leads me to the next one. University of Texas will lose more than 5 games this season. And I base that question or that statement that I want you to answer, the fact that they got their butts handed to them by Arkansas this weekend, 40 to 19 or to 21. It was a 19-point loss, 40 to 21.
Okay. And the question is, they're not.
They will lose more than 5 games this year.
BS.
Really?
Yeah.
You think they'll get it straight?
I think, as we were saying before, week 1 or 2, you can kind of chalk this up as to, getting your bearings back. I don't think it's the here-all to end all right now. They got time to correct mistakes and move forward.
Okay. You know what? I hate them. Really do. But I think I hate them because they're arrogant and always lose.
That's funny.
Because the Cowboys are too?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've never been a UT fan. So there's a difference there.
It's different because one team had no.
Yeah, it's different because the Cowboys were good, and I was their fan of theirs when they were good.
Yeah.
UT has sucked for a long time, and I haven't been a fan of theirs. All right, so I'm going to say BS because I don't think it'll be more than 5 games. I think it'll be 4 or 5 games that they lose.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say BS. Now, the last one before we get to our picks for this week. Matt Stafford and the Rams. They are the real deal.
Matt Stafford and the Rams are the real deal. Feel like that's a loaded question, but I'm gonna say for sure. I think I'm confident in the Rams defense. Stafford's a solid quarterback. I think they got just enough people on the receiving core just to be dangerous enough that they're contenders.
I think they'll be in the NFC Championship game this season.
I'm not gonna say that. Fuck them Rams. I mean, fuck them Lambs. Yeah, that sounds better.
Side note, CD, when he catches the ball, my wife starts going, bah, bah. At first, I was like, what? She said, lamb. He's a lamb. She said, I'm going to do that now. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, that's one of those things that I think I found a reason not to like your wife.
That's all right. She don't like you either.
Yeah, that's all right. You know, speaking of wives, I was talking to my wife earlier
but
this
was
afternoon.
she listening?
And
but was she
said,
listening?
She said to me, nobody likes you. I was like, that's not nice. I'm not Rudy. And she's like, that's true. Nobody likes Rudy.
Now, that is true. All right. So, look. Let's get to the picks for this week. Y'all can write these down. You can put them in stone. I'm not saying I'm going to stick by them, but I'm saying you can do that if you want. I can't tell you what to do. So, first game up, the one for tonight, Thursday Night Football. Now, by the time y'all hear this game will have already been played. But right now, it's like 2:30 in the afternoon or 7:30 at night or 8:30. I don't know.
But
shut up.
Just a heads
up. My question
tied.
is, who are you picking? The G-Men or Washington? Washington is favored by 3.5. And for me, it was a coin flip. I kind of wanted to pick the G-Men because Jason Garrett kind of owns Washington.
Yeah.
And their quarterback has yet to lose to Washington.
Yeah.
But I still picked Washington because I think that their defense is better than what the G-Men offense is.
That's why I picked them as well. And just for people that want to know, as the game is going on right now, it's 7-7. But the Giants did score first, and it is in the second half right now.
It's third quarter already?
No, not second half. Second quarter, I mean.
See, that's why you don't listen to him. All right. Now, the 49ers are playing at the Eagles. They're favored by 3.
Yeah.
You got the Niners, and so do I. And it's not because I think the Niners are particularly good. They put up a lot of points last week, even though they let Detroit mount a big comeback.
Yeah.
I think that the Philadelphia Eagles are still a fluke. I do want to say their quarterback played pretty well last week.
Yeah.
But the Falcons are a bad team.
Yeah, I took that as the Falcons fucked that one up because I feel like the Falcons should have won that game. As far as for moving forward into this game, I think the Niners are a collectively more in sync, better team. And because I would argue that, both opponents, like if I was looking at the 49ers who they played last week, was a harder team than playing the
because Detroit has a better quarterback than
So I'm just going off the team talent. I think that they're just going to do better.
Gotcha. Texans at Browns. Browns are favored by 12.5. I don't think they'll win by 12.5, but I do have the Browns because they're at home. I'm taking them over the Texans.
That was a hard one for me to pick, but I'm still riding with the Texans. I like Brandon Cook. I like what Taylor did last week. I'm hoping that he's going to continue that.
I want him to do well, but I want them to lose because I want to prove myself right that the Texans are the dogs of the NFL this year. The Rams are 3.5 favorites over the Colts. We both took the Rams. Like I said, I think the Rams are going to end up, injuries permitting, in the NFC conference title game.
I again, their defense is pretty solid, and I'm not seeing as long as they're healthy.
I will say though, as I was watching their game last week, it was against the Bears, right?
Yeah.
There was some plays where the Bears were running the ball pretty well against them. But it was because the Rams were doing a poor job of tackling. I'm going to attribute that to it being the first week of the season.
Yeah.
Because they were going high. They were going shoulders each time. And the running backs for the Bears were just kind of bouncing off of them because anytime you're a running back, if someone's trying to tackle you by the shoulders, you should get free.
Yeah.
And they were getting free a bunch.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I just all I know is they allowed my running back on my fantasy team to do all right, so I don't care. And as a St. Louis person, it's fuck them Lambs for life. So,
all right. So
that's funny.
The Bills are favored by 3 over the Dolphins. I got the Dolphins.
You got the Dolphins.
I got the Dolphins.
Why do you got the Dolphins?
Because they're at home. Because it's a division game. And because we came into the season saying that we don't think that the Bills are going to live up to what they did last year.
Yeah.
I watched most of that Bills game last week.
Yeah.
And the words that you and I had said about their quarterback held up.
Yeah.
Their quarterback underperformed. That's what we said he would do.
Yeah.
Now it was week 1. And it was against Pittsburgh. But he made Pittsburgh look like they were really good. And I just don't buy that.
That's kind of was my take on the game. Like, I felt like Pittsburgh looked really well in that. So, but if you're looking at fantasy-wise, you're going to get some points off of them. Miami, I just think they're as bad as I think Buffalo's going to be, or fall off. I just think Miami's just that much worse.
Well, they did beat the Patriots last week. Tua held up. They beat a quarterback who played well.
Yeah.
In Trevor Lawrence for not Trevor Lawrence. Who's their the rookie?
I don't know his name.
Whatever, he's a rookie.
And he's a Patriot. I don't fuck them Patriots.
Speaking of which, Patriots are favored over the Jets by 6.
Yeah.
I appreciate your statement of F the Patriots, but I am picking them this week.
Yeah.
Just because the Jets are the Jets.
But once you're a Jet for life.
It's not true.
Sure
they can cut you. You go somewhere else. Ask Keyshawn. So, you got the Jets this week.
Yes.
Why? Is it just because you hate the Patriots?
Yes.
Okay.
Guys, keep in mind, sometimes I'll just pick a team not because...
Oftentimes.
Because I don't like the other team.
So, the Raiders are going to play against the Steelers. You usually side with the Raiders because one of your old coaches was a Raider.
Yes.
I'm picking the Raiders in this game, even though it's in Pittsburgh. And that has more to do with... I don't think that Pittsburgh was as good as what they put out last week.
Yeah.
And even though some people might say that the Raiders got lucky, I do believe in Carr. I do like Gruden.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to side with them on this one. You got the Steelers. Why?
It comes down to Ben.
DiNucci?
Yeah. I think that they just this experience on their side. I like Najee Harris. I'm hoping for him to have a breakout this coming up. Some tweaks I think that they're going to do this week.
Okay.
And trying to not, it's easy for me to be like, yep, that's who I'm going. I got to pick some teams that are going to be opposite of you just to make it interesting on our wager.
You don't have to. You already have the lead. If you
Yeah.
pick the same teams as me all the time, then you would guarantee yourself a win. Stupid. All right. So
Yeah.
you didn't think of it like that, did you?
No. How is that going to guarantee me a win?
Because if you pick the same teams as I did, you already have a 1 point lead.
Well, for this first 4 games. then we-
Exactly. Dummy. All right. So the Saints are 3.5 point favorites over the Panthers. And because I don't believe in the Panthers, I got the Saints.
Yeah. I picked the Saints too, didn't I?
No, you got the Panthers.
Did I?
Yep.
I feel like Urban Meyer's got to prove something.
He's with the Jags.
Oh, shit. I'm getting my shit all confused right now. Wait.
You're
there's
like,
the Panthers?
my statement still holds true. I feel that Urban Meyer's got to prove something.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking on that. But I definitely think...
That some football team's going to win.
No,
It's a tie.
I had a moment of
Blonde
confusing
moment.
confusing my teams. I'm thinking about this though. I don't know. That was one of them ones that I was just going on a whim.
All right. So you accidentally picked the Panthers, but it's already written in pen, so it's not like I can scratch it out.
No, but I'm saying like when I picked them, I think that was just me saying like fuck it, I'm gonna go with an opposite on that one.
But you didn't even know who I picked.
Yeah, I know the smart was going with the Saints. I know a lot
See,
of
he
people.
called me smart. All right.
know a lot of people
Broncos
are out
are
on
favored by 6 at the Jags. Both of us got the Jags. Once again, it comes down to not believing in the Broncos for me.
Yeah.
With the Jags, I told you, I think Urban Meyer's going to have them be a decent team. It might take a few weeks. So I might pick them a few times and then still steady lose.
Yeah.
But I think by the end of the season, they're going to have 7-8 wins.
Yeah.
6, 7, 8, something like that. And for them, I think that's a good season.
Yeah, I think I just respect Aaron Myers. So even with the loss that he had last week, I just think that he's gonna have more to want to prove as the season goes on. Just to at least be a 500 team. I know it's hard to be 500, but be a 500 at this point.
8-1. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Look, last year I think there was like 4 ties or something like that. There was a bunch of games with overtime ties. Now, the Vikings are playing at the Cardinals. Both of us got the Cards.
Yes.
Falcons are playing at the Bucks. Bucks are favored by 12.5. I think I would even take the Bucks with the points in this game.
Yeah, I think that's a smart way to go about that.
Titans at the Seahawks.
Titans disappointed me last week.
Yeah, talk about a dud.
And
I mean, you picked Arizona to beat them, but you surely didn't expect that. I know I didn't.
Yeah, I expected a
Close game.
Yeah, I expected more out of Tannehill. I mean, they just did so well last year that I thought
You would have thought if a blowout happened, it would have been the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the Seahawks in this. They're at home, and it's just pretty much that. Titans, big disappointment. It would have really helped them out to be the home team this week.
Yeah.
To face Seattle. It's hard to win in Seattle on the road. Chiefs at Ravens.
Yes.
We both got the Chiefs.
Yes.
That means that the Ravens, if we're right, start off 0-2. Does that ruin their likelihood to make the playoffs?
It doesn't, but I mean, for me, I'm still on the fence about Jackson. I don't know.
Look, I don't think Lamar Jackson would fit on most NFL teams,
Yeah.
but they do use him well.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep in mind that he hasn't beaten Mahomes.
That's why I'm taking the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I think it's a bad matchup for the Ravens. Look, this whole 17 game season,
Yeah.
I think it gives you more room for error.
Yeah, I mean, and there's just some teams that have your number. Like, you could beat everybody, but for whatever reason, this team just has your number.
Yeah, and keep in mind, my whole thoughts are in the first 4 games, you can start off with a couple of losses and still be fine. Because you got to look at the whole first 4 games.
Yeah.
Not just out game 1 or game 2 or game 3.
Yeah, it's funny is because I think of, as much as I want my teams to be good, I don't want them to show too much too soon. So I'd kind of prefer like start out somewhat, don't come out blowouts and everything right away, as though I like the wins and, definitely pour it on. But if you don't have the depth to continue that all the way through, for sure, I feel like, pad it out a little bit. Don't let them think that so you don't want to show all your cards too soon.
Lions at Packers. I can tell you this. The Packers did not show all their cards too soon.
Yeah, it's a tough one, really.
But you know what I've noticed over the last 15 years? The Packers, like the Patriots, are a team that you can upset them early.
Yeah.
If you're trying to beat the Patriots in the first 4 games, you got a better chance than what you do in December.
Yeah.
And the Packers, it's kind of a similar thing. They tend to get rolling in November, December.
Yeah.
So, what was it, 4 years ago, when Aaron Rodgers came out with the whole relax?
Yeah.
Just like RELAX, just relax, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then they went on this huge run.
Yeah.
So, I like the quarterback of the Lions, like what we talked about, as far as potential, until he ends up getting hurt, because that's going to happen. But I still think that the Packers are going to win this game on Monday.
I think Aaron Rodgers has a lot to prove. I think he's going to try his damnedest to correct mistakes.
So that leaves us with 1 game. Cowboys at the Chargers. Chargers are favored by 3.5. Who you got and why?
I'm going with my boys because I have to. In my pick'ems, I always had a hard time picking against them. And in this situation, it's no different. I think they showed real promise. I think the offense, if they play their cards right, the defensive losses that are not going to be playing won't be that big of a deal. But I was watching someone else talk about it, and they're pretty much saying, like, if he comes out throwing the ball and just like, fuck it, I just got to sling this and stay ahead of the Dak has a shot of winning this, and I don't think that's too far off.
Nate Newton, the former Dallas guard in the 90s, he had this thing that he will never pick against the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
But if he thinks that they're going to... If he would have otherwise been able to pull himself to say they're going to lose, what he says is, I think they'll win by 1 point. So,
okay.
if he really would have to put the gun to the head,
Yeah.
if he says they're going to win by 1 point, then that means he thinks that they're going to lose.
Right.
So, in the same spirit, I would say the Cowboys win by 1 point. I'm going to pick the Chargers. Now, and look, here's the flat out reason why I'm picking the Chargers. It's not because I think that they got better players. It's not because I think that their quarterback's on par with Dak. It's not because I think that their running game's as good as the Cowboys' running game. It's not because I think that the receivers are as good as the Cowboys' receivers. I believe our coaching is going to cost us this game, as I believe our coaching cost us the game last week. when you don't know who to play, where to play them, when to bench somebody, you are costing your team.
Yeah.
When the Cowboys last week were in the red zone, they give the ball to Zeke. Tight end misses his block. Zeke gets tackled. Pushes us to fourth down. After our kicker had already missed a field goal and an extra point, we go for another field goal. That was a bad coaching decision. At that point, you have to recognize your opponent is not the New York Football Giants, the Washington Redskins, or the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
Your opponent was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom's stupid face Brady.
Stupid face.
He does have a stupid face. So, you cannot go for the field goal. Yet, that's what the Cowboys did.
Yeah.
They went for the field goal. They got the field goal. But, potentially, they left 4 points up.
Yeah.
Because they could have gone for the end zone again. They should have gone for the end zone. You lose that game by 3 points, you missed out on 4 right there. Also, them kicking that 60-yard field goal and missing it, Brady just needed 15 yards to put his team in field goal position.
Yeah.
We did a good job preventing him from getting there, but you gave him a great opportunity to widen the margin. Stupid coaching decision.
Moral of the story is stupid coaching.
Yes, that's why I don't believe in them for this week. We got some easier games following this game. I think our coach will cost us another game. So, I take the Cowboys by 1 point, but on my score sheet, I got the Chargers winning this game. I hope I'm wrong. We don't look like we're ever going to get to my top running backs this season unless we do a special second show in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep putting that out there so y'all can start demanding that we give you that list. And if y'all don't demand it, then I'm going to pretend like y'all did. But we got to wrap this thing up.
For sure. Apologies to not getting this out sooner. We tried. There's been a lot of things going on behind the scenes personally for me and some personal for him, but mostly for me. So with that being said, guys, thank you for listening. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Stop begging.
Follow us on follow me on Instagram and Twitter at SleepyJSLEEP_E_J. Follow Coach Rudy
on Twitter at RudyV1982. If you have anything to say that will make other people mad, go ahead and write it. I don't care.
Yeah, please reach out to us if you guys want to contribute. If you want us to talk about you, just say, pick me, talk about me, and we will.
If you want to order us some pizza or chicken wings or something like that, who am I to turn down my fans? Right. Free food.
Unless it's bad.
Or if y'all order it for us with the expectation that we're going to pay for it. Exactly. I will reject that thing.
And you should slap yourself for trying that.
And your mama. Yeah, I said it.
All right, guys. Until next time, take it easy.
Peace.